Andrew Jackson, our seventh president, was born to Elizabeth Hutchinson. Again, not much is known about Elizabeth, except that she had a strong hatred for the British, and she passed it on to her sons. Her hatred for the British was probably due to her Irish background. Elizabeth's grandfather had fought against the British in the Irish resistance. Elizabeth and her husband were married around 1761 and moved to America 4 years later. They immigrated to America from Antrim County in Ireland. Today, that is in Northern Ireland. They moved in 1765. They immigrated to Waxhaw Settlement in the Carolinas. This was a place between North and South Carolina, south of Charlotte and right on the border of South Carolina. They fled religious persecution and tariffs. They were Presbyterians. They were able to acquire about 200 acres of land right around 12 Mile Creek. They moved to this area because Elizabeth had relatives in the area. This actually worked out for Elizabeth because Andrew's father died in a logging accident at the age of 29, 3 weeks before Andrew was born, and his mother moved in with his sister and brother-in-law, Jane and James Crawford. Elizabeth nursed her ailing sister and provided the role as a housekeeper for the home. Jackson had plenty of male relatives to show him the way. His mother thought that he might become a minister and paid for him to go to school to try to learn to be a clergyman. When the Revolutionary War came, Elizabeth encouraged her sons to participate in military drills. The British came into the Carolinas and began looting the countryside. They killed over 100 soldiers in the Waxhaw settlement. There were also about 150 wounded that were put up in a local church. After the raid, Jackson and his brother became couriers for the militia, and they were eventually captured. They were taken to a prison of war camp where they were malnourished and contracted smallpox. Andrew's brother died after being released, and Elizabeth died while volunteering as a nurse in an American prisoner of war camp. She died of cholera on November 2nd, 1781. Andrew was only 14 years old. Later, Andrew Jackson tried to find out where she was buried to bring her remains back to be with his father and by his brother's grave. He was never able to recover them. In 1949, a marker was placed in the old Waxhaw Presbyterian Cemetery. However, it is still unsure exactly where she was buried. There are 3 different markers to honor her. If you like these short videos about presidents' mothers, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for listening.